Good morning, pals. Welcome to day 32 of 100 miles, 100 days on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya. That's my cat Crookshanks, and we're ready to take a walk. So let's do it. All right, let's get this started. Come on, everybody. Here we go. And let's ramp it up. Wearing my new shoes today, so let me show you a quick video of unboxing those. Okay, pals, I got some new shoes today, so let's take a look. Woohoo! All right. Nice. So I've bought a couple of pairs of these React RN. Let's see if I can get that here. They're Nike React Escape RNs. And I'm super particular about my shoes. So I have a couple of pairs of these, and I really like the way that they fit while I'm walking in Disneyland, and my feet don't hurt at the end of the day. So I haven't been able to find a whole lot of these. So when I find them in my size, I go ahead and buy them, and I just don't care what color they are or anything like that. And now I will have a pair of white ones and a pair of black ones. So I have a pair of weird, like pinky orange ones too. So, but those are like my hiking shoes that I use out in the dirt. So these will be more of my Disneyland shoes. What I like about them is that they have a wider toe box and a thinner heel, which is what I need. They kind of cup my heel a little bit, which is something I've been dealing with since I was a little kid. My heels are thin and they fall out of shoes. So let's give those a try today. Yeah, so those are the new shoes that I got, and I'm doing what I would recommend to anybody, which is do what I'm doing right now. Put them on, wear them for your mile walk that we're doing every day. I'm going to wear these for the next whatever it is. I did figure this out earlier. It's like 68 days until my Disney trip, and make sure that you can walk in them for the, however many miles it's going to be for you to walk in Disneyland. As I've said many times before, I have done as many as 14 miles a day in Disneyland, and usually average around 11 or 12. So if I can't do a mile in my shoes, I have no business wearing them to Disneyland. So my PSA for the day would be, do not buy a brand new pair of shoes and break them in at Disneyland. You will be so sad. I've tested these shoes out several trips at Disneyland, and it's just what works for me. I tried a different pair of Nikes about a year ago when my bestie and I went, and they hurt my feet in places that I hadn't ever experienced them hurting my feet before. And it wasn't this particular style. And I ended up bruising my toenails so bad that it didn't recover for like a year. And like just finally recovered this last pedicure that I got about a week ago. So there you go. There are reasons to go ahead and take this little walk with me every day in the shoes that you're going to be wearing to Disneyland. Who knew? And so far, so good. They feel pretty good. I'm gonna have to get used to the fact that they're not broken in and they keep scuffing on the pad here. So let's get into something that we talked about yesterday that I was curious when after I showed it to you, and as I was editing, I put the information in about how the early entry was going away, and that it was interesting that we just decided to look at that yesterday when yesterday was the last day that early entry was available. So we caught that all on camera, even though I didn't know I was catching something significant. So there you go. So we're going to go ahead and start a recording. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up our Disneyland app. And it'll get us to that opening page, and we're going to scroll down to what we looked at before, right here where it says the times that the park is open today and today's show times. And we're going to click right on the icon for the Disneyland park, which will open us up to the park hours and info. And you can see here that Disneyland Park is open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. with park hopper availability from 11 to 11. And here that Disney California Adventure is open from 8 to 9 with park hopper availability from 11 to 9. So, and now we don't see that extra information about that which park has early entry, because that is, as of yesterday, that is no longer available. So what Disney's doing in place of that is they're giving hotel guests one lightning lane per visit. I don't believe that it is per day. Hopefully they'll get that figured out, because once per visit is not a very good perk. When before you would have a half hour every day, it's kind of a good trade-off. You don't have to go there at 7:30 in the morning to get your free lightning lane, but at the same time, if it's only once per visit, then that's not a great perk, considering that they give free lightning lanes out like candy. When you have lightning lane, when you've purchased lightning lane for that day and something goes down during the time that you're supposed to be there, they give you a free pass to use on any of their lightning lane rides at any time of the day. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if it's only once per visit when they give them out like that on a regular basis. So anywho, we can also see what is closed for refurbishment right now. And that date that we can check times now goes out one extra day to the 16th. And tells us the schedule is unavailable for that day, but still does tell us what's going to be still closed for refurbishment at that time. So it looks like the pools at Pixar Place are going to be down for a while. I'm surprised that they're closing for refurbishment yet again. They were just closed for refurbishment in 2022. So And again, I know that because that's the only time I've stayed at Pixar Place and we couldn't use the pool or the deck at the pool to watch the fireworks. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be going to Pixar Place in January or February, it looks like, because their viewing deck for the fireworks is on the pool deck. So be aware. That's really all I wanted to show you with that. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the work I did on the Valentine ears today. All right, so we're going to go ahead and work on these ears again today. I did talk about in the beginning, like including putting the tag on back onto the ears, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't want any confusion as to that these are like unmodified ears that came from Disney, so we're not going to do that. That'll just be something that comes along with the ears should they get purchased. Yeah, and so today what we're going to do is go ahead and take this bow that we took off of the top here. Going to go ahead and take this apart because the fabric is pretty cool. It's nice and sparkly. I just don't like the size of these bows. So I'm going to take our handy seam ripper and find those threads and just I'm not going to worry about saving the thread on these because we're not going to be needing to reuse that thread. So that is just held together with a little piece like that. I'll set that aside and take a look at how this guy is put together. Looks like it's just all sewn together with a little bit of hand stitching down at the bottom. So we will just start in on pulling that apart as well. Okay, so we've got that hand sewn bit pulled apart. We can pull the stuffing out of this. I'm going to turn this inside out so we can see how the bow is actually made. So this is something that I do when I'm sewing normally. When I'm sewing normally, as if I sew abnormally. So this is one of the things that I do if I am wanting to make a pattern out of something that I like. I'll take it apart and look at how it's actually sewn together and what the shape of the cut is. So I could take this, put it onto a piece of paper, trace this, and have a pattern for sewing my own puffy bow for ears if I wanted to do that. But I don't because I don't like the size of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick the seam. So I get a little bit pulled out so that I have something to grip onto, and then I go just a couple of inches in and sever the thread, and then pull and manipulate. And usually it's not working this time, of course. Usually that thread will just pull right out. Didn't want to today. And then I can turn it over and I have a nice long thread on the other side. And if I just kind of keep going back and forth doing this, where I sever a thread and pull, that whole seam will start unraveling itself. And you know, a lot of this just comes down to the fact that I have been sewing for close to 40 years. Over 40 years, excuse me. And I'm just not afraid of being able to undo what I've done when I'm pulling things apart. Because I could easily take this right back up to my machine and sew it all together again. So now we have our 2 pieces of that bow to be able to play with. Because I think overall, just what I mostly want to do is make this bow smaller. So I'm just going to kind of give you an idea. I'm just going to do a very quick, like large stitches, just so I can get this turned inside out and see if it's really what I want to do. I'm going to sew about a 1/2 inch to a quarter of an inch to a 1/2 inch inside of the original stitch lines. So that I can turn this inside out. Got my Mickey and Minnie patches that my bestie gave me. And there already you can see that smaller bow, even in an unfinished state, is going to be much easier to deal with. So there you go. We'll get that actually worked out and stitched up tomorrow. Okay, pals, we're getting up close to the end here. I've been quick timing for a little while, and you can see we're almost there. And I've just been going a little bit faster every day. You can see it's only taken me 38 minutes to do this today at 2.2 miles an hour. Almost there. So spending some time talking to you and some time doing fast. And there it is. There's our mile. Good job, pals. All right, pals. Thanks again for joining me for day 32 of 100 miles, 100 days on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, pals. Or the, what do you call it? What do you call that? The tread? The, Anywho, guess it's not important.